Yo, what's up? Hello to everybody. My name is Sergey. I'm talking about music and just from the music lover to other music lovers. And today I want to tell you about a really, really impressive record that I'm revisiting these days, and it's called Cinemascope. Cinemascope by a band called Monolake. Sorry, there are two different guys. One is called Monolake. One is called Monolink. I just got to know that today, and suddenly that confuses me. Cannot describe it. So we are talking about Monolake, and apparently I was not digging much into the background of who is what and what did they do. I just got to know it recently that actually one of the guys, the project was made by two guys, probably German, and one of them went on to keep creating electronic music while the other one actually decided that he will do business instead, and he made and organized a label and like a company called Ableton. And Ableton, as we all know, is the one of the most famous electronic producing software, which is really, really successful, and maybe we can say that it outbeat the other competitors on the market. So two big brains, two big talents decided to make a band, and then one of them got detached and made a business while the other continued the project called Monolake. And Monolake is essentially a sort of like a minimalistic electronic music, similarly like they have the same roots in the 90s, in the end of 80s, when the Aphex Twin was creating his own things, and uh, people like Otekra, a project like Otekra, and other electronic pioneers at that moment. Monolake was one of them. So it's one of the, so to say, fathers of the electronic music. And I revisited one of their albums called Cinemascope, which means like a big cinema, the widescreen, huge widescreen in the cinema that you can see sometimes when you go, when you what used to be made in the past, and which probably impressed a lot of people when they sit in front of the huge widescreen, seeing something crazy and thinking, "Wow, this is something I've never seen before," which maybe now is called IMAX or something like that. But still, so this is something that sort of like broadens, like shrinks the picture of something to you. And Cinemascope is doing this album is doing this so perfectly. This is such a beautiful record that on the record you actually can see something that truly the cover of the album and the music, they come together is one big piece. On the cover we can see like a big city, transport connections, some huge roads and autobahns connecting and going over top of each other, trying to connect and make some kind of like a big city vibe, I would say. And I think this perfectly describes the general vibe that this album brings to the table. To me, I when I listen to it, I feel like I'm in one place. It just teleports me to a one particular place, and this place is an office building somewhere in the downtown of a big megapolis, big city. When suddenly it's like it's the morning and people around the city all go towards the center to fill up those skyscrapers filled up with office workers and stuff like that, which is somehow like a mechanism that works the whole day. And then by the end of the working day, around 5 or 6 p.m., all those people go back homes. And here starts the atmosphere of the album. So this album really gives us the feeling how if those places would really have its own sound, and this is how it would be like. Because electronic music is artificial, is not, so to say, real, and as much not real as those skyscrapers themselves built by humans. When you look up to them, you are just one small human being, and you look up and it's like 200 floors, 100 floors, are completely out of the normal human scale, normal natural scale. And what this album really, really makes it good. It gives you the feeling of being outside in front of big offices, big artificial infrastructures, big artificial spaces that are not having no humans anymore, or that things are built just to be as a function, to become as a function. So they serve, like they serve, this building serve to make money probably. So it's not really comfortable to be around them when it's 7 or 8 or maybe 2 o'clock at the night and there is nobody around you. What you can see is just the huge buildings and the big parking space around them, also empty. Everything is empty. Those buildings, they either have a glass or the concrete, and then you just realize you are in concrete jungles, and this is really uncomfortable feeling. And what the only sign of humanity that you can see is the cars passing by and having this either white light from the front lights or the red from the back lights. And this is what kind of becomes like a fog. You are a bit like a dreaming or daydreaming, whether I'm actually feeling comfortable here, whether I am living my life, like what's going on. So this album perfectly gives you the feeling of the cold concrete jungles, the cold atmosphere of the office spaces, of the office buildings, of this all downtowns, like in USA that you have over there, where every more or less big city in the US is a bit alike, with the downtowns, with the suburban areas and so on. And it's interesting that this album, I was at the beginning thinking, okay, when I listened to it, maybe I think it was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I heard this album for the first time. I thought maybe I am not having enough of bass or groove or like a tempo. I want some groove on the every track. And maybe that's why I overlooked it a little bit. And now I can feel that it's perfectly shaped. It's just a half electronic music, techno, experimental thing, and slash with ambient. It tries to feel you, just to make you feel the atmosphere. Even on one of the tracks, I don't remember exactly, I think it's the track called Cut. And on this track, they even, the Monolake dude, he put the raindrops. You can feel it's raining over there, and you can feel the horizons of the sound, how all these small scratches and small sound of metal conflicting with some other metal, like physical contact with different metal objects going as a cinemascope, going back and forth in your head. Lots of mechanisms go, but all of them make you feel cold, make you feel unwelcomed, make you feel like you just don't belong here in this place. And I think it's beautiful. It's truly, truly beautiful thing. And I really recommend that you guys, if you overlooked such a masterpiece, it's a good thing to come back and give it a listen. I think it's a good album for everybody to just feel what music could be like. So I wish you to check it out, and wish you to listen more of good music and not listen to bad music, and have a nice day.